Hello and good morning from New York City. Now, it's been around 2.5 years since I last took a train here in the United States. And today that's all going to change, and I've got plenty of content coming up from this trip as well, including a review of Amtrak's Viewliner Roomette through to Chicago on the Lakeshore Limited. But today we're taking the Long Island Railroad down to Long Beach. Now, from my understanding, the Long Island Railroad sort of works as a bit like a commuter system, sort of akin to what you might get around London or any other major European city. And by US standards, it's actually supposed to be quite well connected. So yeah, we're going to go check that out. I think the journey takes just under an hour. So I'm just going to head down to Penn Station and yeah, let's go to Long Beach.
Pennsylvania Station, or New York Penn as it's usually referred to, is located in Midtown Manhattan, about 2 blocks northwest of the Empire State Building. The station is served by a plethora of subway lines, both from 34th Street Penn Station and nearby 34th St Herald Square Station. Now, I'm not going to read them all out, but I've put them on screen for you now. You'll also find Port Authority Bus Terminal, around a 10-minute walk away. Penn Station doesn't just see the highest number of passengers in the US, but is the busiest transportation hub of any kind in the Western Hemisphere, with the mainline station serving around 107 million passengers per year prior to the pandemic. Now, Penn Station can be quite confusing, with it spread out in 2 parts across 8th Avenue. On the other side of the road, you'll find the new Moynihan Train Hall, which is now the home of Amtrak in New York. We'll take a look at this when we take a look at the Lakeshore Limited on Monday, but today we need the core bit of Penn Station, which we just entered. This part of the station dates from the 1960s. Now, those of you who took an Amtrak trip prior to 2021, or just happened to watch my old Amtrak videos, may remember that this is where Amtrak trains used to depart from. However, nowadays this part of the station is exclusively served by short-distance New Jersey Transit services to, well, New Jersey obviously. This is also where you'll find the bulk of the station's wide range of shops and eateries.
We're in the wrong.
Now, the Long Island Railroad can be a bit hard to find if you're jet lagged and not paying attention like I was. But there's a small passageway off to the side by where we entered. Head down here and it'll be pretty easy to find where to go. Now, I think it's fair to say that the Long Island Railroad section of the station is pretty grim and generally unpleasant. Ticket machines specifically for the Long Island Railroad can be found down here. Alternatively, you can do as I did and buy your tickets on the MTA eTix app and just display them on your phone. There's no advantage to purchasing in advance, so the price will be the same regardless of how long prior to departure you buy your ticket. Trains board around 10 to 15 minutes prior to departure. The service we'll be catching today is the 9:45 AM departure to Long Beach. Train number is 6814, departing from track 19. Now, I appreciate that the dingy platforms at Penn Station don't really let you have a good look at the train for today's journey, so we'll take a better look at this once we arrive in Long Beach. But our journey today will be aboard an M7 electric multiple unit. Power to these trains is provided by an electrified third rail. They have a design top speed of 100 miles an hour or 161 kilometers an hour. All trains on the Long Island Railroad are operated by the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, or MTA for short, who oversee most of wider New York's transport-related aspects. Only one class of seating is offered, and there are no seat reservations, so I'm free to sit where I like. Seating is in a high-density 2+3 configuration. Now, don't be too put off by this, as these cars are pretty wide, at least compared to what we have in the UK and Europe. For such a short distance journey, legroom is actually okay, or at least not the knees in chest experience I was expecting. And the seats are pretty comfortable too, and these soft headrests are a really nice touch in my opinion. You'll also find coat hooks on the wall, but that's about it. There are no plug sockets on these trains, so just bear that in mind before boarding. Anyway, As we'll be departing soon, let's just take a quick look at our route for today. Our journey will see us heading southeast from Penn Station, first heading from Manhattan and into Queens, before continuing via Jamaica and on to Long Beach. Total distance that we'll be covering today is 22.7 miles or 36.5 kilometres. Scheduled travel time is 57 minutes and our top speed will be 80 miles an hour or 129 kilometres an hour. And we depart New York bang on time at 9:45. The first bit of our trip will see us travelling in tunnels as we make our way out of the densely populated Manhattan and across the East River into Queens.
This is the train to Long Beach.
Once out of the tunnel, we were supposed to make a stop at Woodside as we make our way towards Jamaica, but for some reason we didn't on this occasion. Also, after exiting the tunnels, I noticed just how filthy the windows were, which was a shame as it certainly obscured our view a bit.
Jamaica Station, Jamaica, will be next local train to Long Beach. After Jamaica, this train makes stops at Locust Manor, Laurelton, Rosedale, Valley Stream, Lintbrook.
After about 20 minutes, we arrive at our first cooling point of Jamaica. Located in Queens, this is the busiest interchange on the Long Island Railroad, and the fourth busiest station in North America overall. Almost all Long Island Railroad trains call here, so it's possible to change here for a wide variety of destinations. This is also where you'd change to catch the air train to JFK Airport. From Jamaica, we branch off from the Long Island Railroad main line and join the Long Beach branch. Right, time for a very quick wander. Each unit is formed of 2 coaches, although you will usually find that several are coupled together, as is the case here. Now, I find these interiors to be a bit utilitarian, but nonetheless pleasant enough for a short journey. Bicycles may be brought on board and stored in the vestibules. However, the rules regarding this are quite complex, so I'll leave a link to them in the description below. Unfortunately, it's not possible to move between coaches while the train is moving, although the other coach is exactly the same as this one, just minus the toilet. Each coach has a couple of spaces for wheelchair users, which is always nice to see. In terms of luggage provisions, rather large racks are provided above the seats. As I touched on a moment ago, one coach in each unit has a toilet or restroom. Unfortunately though, I couldn't even get the door on this one to lock, although I will say it was surprisingly clean. I guess you just got to hold the door so that no one walks in on you. Lastly, no Wi-Fi is offered on this train, although, as you'd expect from such a densely populated area, phone coverage is really rather good.
This station is Rosedale.
At a number of stations on the line, the train is longer than the platform, such as here at Oceanside, so make sure to listen carefully to announcements should you be travelling to one of these stops. Just over 5 minutes out of Long Beach, and we arrive at our final intermediate stop of Island Park. A few moments later, we cross Rec-led Channel, which will take us across and into Long Beach. While perhaps a little on the slow side, the Long Island Railroad does provide a convenient and comfortable connection between Manhattan and Long Island in my opinion. Trains run somewhat frequently on most lines. A direct service between Penn Station and Long Beach runs every hour, which isn't too bad considering that this is essentially a branch line. So, what about the cost? An off-peak return set me back $20.50. While on weekdays peak time restrictions do apply, I travelled on a Saturday, meaning I could take any train for both my outbound and return journeys. That said though, for such a short journey, I do think that is rather expensive, even if there is a great deal of flexibility. But overall, not a bad service at all. But what are your thoughts and opinions on the Long Island Railroad? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Now, I swear part of the reason that this journey takes so long is because there seems to be quite a few points where the speed limit is like 5 miles an hour. I swear I could have walked faster at certain points of the trip. Anyway, we eventually pull into Long Beach roughly on time at about 11:15. As promised, here's a better look at the exteriors of the M7 EMUs. Built by Bombardier Transportation, they first entered service on the Long Island Railroad in 2002. With over 800 units in service on the MTA Long Island Railroad, the type makes up about 3/4 of their fleet. Anyway, with that I'm going to check out Long Beach, which I can certify is indeed home to a rather long beach. Also, don't forget to join me on Monday for a look at what to expect from a roomette on Amtrak's new Viewliner 2 coaches. But in the meantime, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to help us out by giving it a like. If you're new to the channel, then be sure to subscribe and enable notifications as I publish new trip reports every Monday and Friday. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you on Monday.